Welcome to Small Town Snarks. I'm Joel.
And I'm Miranda. Let's get snarky.
The demon queen of high school has decreed it. She says Monday, 8 a.m. I'll be deleted.
She'll hunt me down in study hall, stuff and mount me on the wall.
30 hours to live, how shall I spend them?
Joel, you sounded amazing there.
I threw my voice across the room. We're back.
We're back.
And
Welcome, Abbie Weinel.
Hi!
Hi, Abbie.
Also known as Paulette, codename.
Codename Paulette.
Yes. Big
Reveal.
The
reveal.
artist formerly known as Paulette.
Yes.
Yeah. We are absolutely thrilled that you're here. Absolutely thrilled.
Absolutely.
Absolutely thrilled.
That's my name, don't wear it out.
This interview has been a long time in the making, but you are the busiest and most professional person that we know on this planet.
The most professional?
The most professional person that
Yeah.
we know.
I'll take that.
Yes.
I'll take that one. So.
I have, in preparing for today's interview and thinking about this for a while, I have so many positive things to say, so many wonderful stories to share.
I have so many negative things to
Yes,
say.
we balance each other out.
Great, well, I'm
So-
going to leave before Miranda's half of the interview. And
Yeah, we'll replace you with Daryl for the,
Okay, great.
for the
Great,
negative
great.
stuff.
But yeah, it's just super great that you're here, and we've got so much to discuss about. I mean, you're an original
Yes, I
STS
am.
alumni.
Happy to be
Yes.
back. I'm always happy to be back whenever I can be, so.
Yes, and as we've said so far and brought you up in previous shows that we've discussed, and as we will continue to, you're around for, I would say, probably a good 85% of it all.
Most of it. I mean,
Yeah.
still here, so,
Yeah.
still doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Every once in a while I drop out, but that's okay.
You'll pop in,
Yeah.
help with something,
Yeah.
Yeah.
pop out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
go do like a paid gig somewhere.
Yes.
Do some cool show in some
Yeah.
cool place, and
Yeah.
come back and tell
Love
us
to
all
travel
about
for
it.
it, so yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll start at the very beginning.
Very good place to start.
Yes.
That comes later.
Ah.
That's true.
When did you start performing?
Whew. So the story I always tell, I don't actually know if this was like my first ever thing, but like I've been doing like choirs and ballets from like as soon as I was able to like walk in. I've always been doing dance and music, and just it's always been a part of my life. And the story I always tell is that my older brother is the inspiration for me doing theater, because we did a church musical called The Fear Not Factor. It was about all the angels wanting to be the one to get to tell the world that Jesus was born. And my older brother got to be the lead.
Oh.
And I had the one little solo in the choir, and I was like, I want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
love that.
We never stopped since, so.
Yeah. One of my favorite things about theater people is they're, most people, especially when they start really young with acting, it's always either like a church-related experience or like performing as, a child number 17 or a tree in some
Annie,
show.
Sound of Music, one of those,
Yes.
yeah.
And I just feel like those common stories are just something that just binds us all together. I love that.
I was in a church show. I don't remember how old I was, but I was like one of like 40 angels or whatever.
Yep.
And they were telling the Christmas story, and I remember I was so pissed that I was not Mary.
Yep.
It's like, I want the special part.
Yep. Yeah, no,
You deserve your special part, Kendall.
Yes. Jill loves a special part.
Jill loves a special part.
Yeah, I mean, I think back to my own experiences, I'm pretty sure that was the case as well. Of just, I remember doing like the, nativity story or nativity musical, and
Yep.
So I love that.
I don't think I've ever met someone who was baby Jesus in that.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I
And
guess.
that's what started their flame. For
Well, I
performing.
guess. Well, there's two issues with that. One is either if you were baby Jesus and you were a baby playing baby Jesus, that you probably didn't really have a say in doing it, so there's no guarantee that that person who was baby Jesus went on to do, like, theater things.
Right.
But then the other thing is, like, if it's kids doing A Christmas Story, I hope it's not a real baby Jesus. I hope they had a baby doll or something, because I certainly wouldn't have trusted, like, 7-year-old me to hold a baby.
I feel like
Valid point.
the production I was in, had a real baby. But I could be making that up.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
Never know. Interesting. So, assuming after that experience, you just acted and it just hasn't stopped.
Yeah, I have been doing dance most of my life. I wanted to be a ballerina originally. Sort of, I mean, I still dance, but not a ballerina per se. I was always in church choir. I took piano lessons for most of my life. And then when I got to, I mean, all through elementary school and then mostly in middle and high school, started doing like school shows. And then because I did school shows and I was like, oh, I like this, I can do this, started doing like community shows all around at different companies. And then eventually went to college for theater. So,
yeah, once it gets started, it doesn't stop.
Doesn't stop.
No.
The train keeps rolling.
Do you remember, so to give some context, your first show with STS was Grease.
Yes.
Started from the very beginning because, like we said, it's a very great place to start.
Yeah.
Do you remember how you discovered STS?
Nope.
Or how? Oh, no?
I could not tell you how I found out about the auditions for Grease. I mean, I think you guys mentioned something about you sent stuff to the schools, so probably my theater teacher said something about it, and there were other people from that school who did that auditions as well. But no, I don't remember how I found out. I was like, I'll just come audition for this one. And then it turned out well, clearly. So.
Yeah.
Was Grease the most chaotic STS show you've been a part of?
The most chaotic STS show? No, I don't think so.
I love that. What was?
I feel like Godspell was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean...
For us, too.
Right.
Yeah.
From my memory of... Not to jump ahead to Godspell too much, but, like, I remember not learning the script to that show. And, like, only knowing my lines and the cue line, and then just waiting for the cue line on the stage until it was my turn.
Because you were in Godspell Part 2.
I was in Godspell Part 2.
We haven't covered yet
Yes.
on the podcast.
Well,
but
look out.
it's coming. It's coming. Godspell is just the show that just kept on giving and giving and giving and giving.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it wasn't. It was chaotic, but it was also one of the things of, like, I didn't know better that it was chaotic. Like, I was just like, yeah, we're rehearsing in the backyard. Yeah, okay, great.
Like, that's what all community theaters do, right?
Yeah. community theaters, I mean, and a lot of them were kind of that, are that situation where, like, it's found spaces. It's just wherever you can rehearse until you move into the theater.
Right.
Like, most places are not lucky enough to rehearse in the space you perform in. So it was just like, yeah, this is where we're rehearsing, and then when we get on stage, we'll see how that works. Mm-hmm. Great.
Yeah. I think that was the case with a lot of people that were in Greece. I think a lot of them, came from the high school I went to, but also from your school. So a lot of them were high school students, and I think we just got really lucky with the group we had, and everyone was just like, all right, this is what we're doing. Cool.
Great. Let's try that lift. Let's see how that goes. The toss,
Yeah.
Not a problem.
On the bleachers? Yeah, we can go dance over there. Totally.
Yeah, we'll go to a park with bleachers because ours aren't built yet.
Oh goodness, yeah. I wasn't there when Grease was happening, but I remember seeing Grease, and I didn't meet you until we did Heather's, but I remember talking to Miranda afterwards, and I was like, oh my gosh, Rizzo is so talented. I remember specifically having that conversation with you, and then we talked about Heather's auditions and who was coming in for Heather's auditions, and I was like, oh, Rizzo's coming back. Oh, that's great. Oh, fantastic. I mean, just going off of that time with Grease, you obviously enjoyed the process or enjoyed working
Yes.
with us enough that you wanted to come
No,
back.
I hated it. That's why I came back. Yeah.
We've actually been holding her against her will
Yes.
this entire
I
time.
just gotta.
For 10 years.
I'm so close to paying off the rest of my debt, you guys.
It's actually
It's what is the Pirates of Penzance rule where like it's got count in leap years or something?
Yes.
there
yep,
you go.
mhm. Yeah, it's actually, we have everyone sign a 10-year contract.
Right.
So, it's almost done.
Almost there. One more.
Yeah, one more.
Once I do Grease again with you guys for the anniversary, then I'm
Break
out.
the spell.
Yeah,
It's done.
let's keep delaying that.
So you came back to do Heathers.
Yes.
We talked about Heathers extensively on earlier episodes. I will just say that, like, for me personally, and this will be the beginning of my praise to you, but for me personally, coming in and doing Heathers after not doing theater for so long, what I really loved about that production was it was my first experience working with people outside of the high school experience and seeing people that were so, like, professional and like that was 9 years ago now, but like seeing you and so many I know time flies or I guess it was 8 years ago. I don't know, years fly.
I think it was 8.
Yeah but getting to work with yourself and so many other people, so many talented people in that cast, like, was encouraging and like eye-opening to me of like, oh my gosh, people, this isn't something that just stops. And like, there is this world between like doing high school theater and for me, like going to see, professional productions, that type of thing. Like, what is that? What's in the middle there? And for me, it was just such an eye-opening and rewarding experience to work with you and the rest of the cast at that for Heathers. And I still hold that show very, very close to me because it was just such a positive experience.
Heathers is one of my favorite shows that I've gotten to do here. And it's also partially because it was one of the shows where literally I had to be at every rehearsal. I was always on stage. It's the show that I feel like I have the most memories of, like the most stories of, the most things I remember from the rehearsal process. Whereas the other ones, it can be spotty sometimes when you're not called to every rehearsal because then you miss those conversations and those funny things that happen. But
yeah, I think you, especially like in that show, but just in general, are such a great example of what we mean when we say like being a lead involves being a leader, and you can feel a different vibe in the cast depending on who your leads are and how they present themselves. And with you, it was just, you had set the bar so high for everyone just by taking it so seriously. I remember you would show up early, you'd be ready to go, and you were also just kind to like every person there. And I think that's part of why everyone has such fond memories of Heathers, is because we had such a great leader. And yeah, I mean I talk about this regularly, but you inspire me every day. So
thank you.
Yeah, happy to have you, Abbie. And yeah, with Heathers, definitely. And I also remember when I was blocking Dead Girl Walking, and this is like, we were just having this conversation recently of how the theater community has gotten a lot better with having intimacy conversations and like what that looks like, and just setting up like basic. I have Randall in my hand. Randall's a crocheted whale for those of you listening, not watching. I'm not going to give any context other than that.
You have to watch the podcast for that one.
Exactly.
Subscribe to our Patreon, and then you'll get the context of why Randall's here.
It's just pictures of Randall.
But the theater community's gotten a lot better with giving general guidance on how to handle those conversations. But for me, I was 19 and hadn't worked professionally in the theater environment, so it was just kind of winging it, which isn't what you want to be doing when you're talking to people about, having a sexual scene on stage. And, I was very lucky that you and, I don't have a code name for this person yet.
We'll just call them their character name.
Yeah, you and JD were, like, already familiar with each other and were comfortable. But I remember we like closed the barn door because that's what we do when we needed privacy. You know, we'd send everyone outside and close the door to the barn. And I kind of had explained what I wanted, and you guys really just ran with it. But the funniest part of the entire thing is my mom was sitting in the corner during the whole conversation. And I'm like telling you guys what to do, and I'm just very aware of the fact that she's right there. But it went really well, and I'm glad I had the experience with Heather's before I went into Spring Awakening, for sure. Yeah. And we talked about this on the podcast earlier, but if I did those shows again now, obviously I would approach those scenes very differently, but I was very fortunate to have you guys be comfortable. Were you there when that scene was blocked?
I believe that I was, if I remember correctly. Some of those rehearsals are just kind of spotty in my memory. Yeah, I don't remember that specific conversation, but I'm sure I was.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Unless I was like outside with the rest of the cast,
outside with the crew.
The crew, maybe. Yeah, I don't remember. I remember once that scene was finally done, and I mean we talked about this a little bit, but one of my favorite things, and I think we brought this up when we talked about Heather's, but I'll bring it up again because it's just so great. The Mountain Dew throwing is still, to this day, one of my favorite memories from that show. And cast members just catching the Mountain Dew bottle. And like being in the barn and that happening in the barn, and there's that staircase on the one side, and everyone just standing on the staircase and trying to catch
it.
And that moment is so ingrained in my brain from us like talking about it. But in the moment, I don't remember if I actually noticed it or not, of course, because I'm facing them, so I can see the person who caught it, but I'm just in the scene, so I don't even remember if that was a thing that happened. That I'm just like, here you go, next.
Well, so that was something, to kind of like plant us in time with where we're at currently, and then I'll tie this back in. But one thing that I'm always amazed of, especially when I get the opportunity as a director to be backstage during shows, I really get to see that transition that people have. And some people, it's very... that transition that actors have going from just being themselves to being their character. And some people, you know, when the show starts, they are their character and they just ride with that the entire time. And then for some people, it's, you know, 2 seconds beforehand, you know, things are, you know, jovial, and then all of a sudden they could just turn it on. And I know you're laughing because we just had this experience, but tying it back to Heather's, we could talk about the Into the Woods situation.
That's what I thought you were going to bring up.
No, so I mean, talking about Heather's in particular, like, what I really loved about, and appreciate it, and actually we'll tie this into the woods too, but one of the things that I really appreciate about you is that you are so, like, when you're performing, you are performing, and it is just, you're very into the roles that you're playing, and it shows. It shows. And I've never seen a role or a show that you've been a part of where you ever walk out on stage and I'm like, yeah, that's just Abbie. Just I never have that moment, and I really, really appreciate that about your level of like professionalism and commitment to the craft. But yes, talking about Into the Woods.
The rest of this podcast is just going to be me thanking you guys.
I will say, yes, back to the Into the Woods comment, I never have I ever laughed so hard, like, of course, quietly and without the audience knowing, but like, you're so funny backstage, and then 2 seconds later you're screaming because your mother has found out that you were sneaking people into a like, the transition there is jarring, but it just brought so much joy to me backstage, and I loved it.
Right before I would go on stage, when they're singing Justifies the Beans and Into the Woods, the line is, what's important really is the size. And so every night when I'm standing in the wings, I would look to Joel and I would choose a different size, you know? Size.
But this was my favorite.
And then I would walk on stage to sing my part and get my hair pulled out as Rapunzel, so...
Yeah, that transition, and like those moments are some of my favorite things about theater, but like seeing someone just make that transition so quick, and it's so powerful, and it's just so amazing to watch.
Thank you.
So just so impressed by that. But in Heather's in particular, I mean, there's been so many roles that you've had where like they're serious but they're funny, and they are they're just very, very unique and dynamic characters, and you're just very good at identifying those things, which is so great.
I do think that is a character type that I really like thrive in, is the straight man in a comedy. Which, for those of you who don't know, is like, it's the person who's not making the joke, but therefore their reaction or what they say following the joke is the thing that makes it funny to the joke that's being set up. Because I'm sure people can say otherwise, but like, I don't always think I have the best comedic timing. But I love being the person who's like, what? To like whatever's just happened on stage. And I think that timing and those types of jokes I always feel really solid in, characters-wise.
What's the most Abbie role you've played? The one that's been closest to who you are?
With STS or just in general?
In general.
Probably Reno Sweeney. That girl has my heart. I have played Reno Sweeney twice, and I would literally drop anything I'm doing to play her again, because I love her so dearly. I think she's a beautifully complex character that gets to be funny and sassy, and you could just leave her at that, but I think there is such a deep well of emotion in that show that, because it's like one of those golden age shows, we don't always pull up. And also, as a person who is a woman, especially who was raised in the church, and again, in the show, I know it's played as a joke, but like, to have a character who was sexy and fun and goofy and sings Blow Gabriel Blow and leads a whole church service was such a like wild concept to me as a kid, and being like, oh my God, they don't have to be separate.
Right.
They can be the same thing. You can be both those people. So,
yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Okay, so we left Heathers. We
Yes.
did Legally Blonde.
We did Legally Blonde.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I love the role of Vivian in Legally Blonde. She gets some of the most like minute moments in the show. And then in Act 2, it's just like, okay, so Vivian, you're going to come out and sing every high note in the show. Just, for fun. And
just because you can.
Yeah.
Because you have to sing that role.
And that moment in Legally Blonde Remix, first off, that was my first experience getting to perform in a number and like on stage and like having that big moment was insane. But then like, again, I'm having this like experience of, oh my gosh, all these people are so talented, and I'm like, you're coming out here and you're singing this crazy note and you're doing all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, Abbie, great, we get it. But I have that vivid memory in my mind of us all performing that number, and just such a great experience.
Vivian is a girl's girl.
She is a girl's
through
girl.
and through. She recognizes some BS when she sees it.
Yes, she does. But she's going to get her man, too. She's going to get her man and her money.
She's got goals. She's got goals.
She's got goals. She's
Do you
got
think
dreams.
Vivian really wants a man? I've thought about that.
No, I don't know if she really feels like she needs a man, but she's going to keep her man.
Got it.
You know, like,
Yeah.
Warner's hers, and she's not letting him go for someone in a bunny costume.
Right.
You know?
Well, she takes her stuff seriously.
She takes her stuff
she gets
seriously.
upset when she feels like other people aren't taking it seriously. And
Been
I
there.
respect
Same.
that.
Me too.
Yeah, it's a great role. It's a great I love that musical too. Just so much to unpack there, but
Bring it back.
What was that?
Bring it back.
Bring back Legally Blonde.
Well,
All right, you heard it here first, everyone.
Yeah.
2026.
yeah, hey, directors and owners of this company, if you want to do a show, I'm just saying.
Well, there's this like tour thing, you know? Pish posh.
Things happen.
Let's just do like table read style Legally Blonde, where we'll get the scripts, no one has to pay for a ticket, and we'll just draw the cast out of a hat each night and then just go.
MTI, you didn't hear that. I know you're listening. I've seen people do that for birthday parties. They like pick their favorite show and then they'll pull names out of a hat.
I want to do that for my birthday next year, but I want to do like a Shakespeare show or something so that people can just go like full ham.
Love that.
Like Midsummer or something would be a good one.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Yeah.
What show would you pick for your birthday show?
I've honestly thought about this a couple of times because that just would be a dream.
Have you already passed your
situation of mine.
golden year? I can't remember when your birthday is.
My golden year?
Yeah, I remember the kids taught us what golden years are.
Oh, no.
The golden year is when you turn the age of the day you were born.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm past my,
I'm not past mine yet.
10 years past mine. Or almost 9. 9, let me, I'm not 30 yet, but it's coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like those are some pretty bunk expectations. Like, what if your golden year is when you're 1? Like,
right, that's Kyle's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have been born earlier. Silly.
Yeah. I don't know. I would really love to do a musical that either you just, or to read, let me rephrase that, to read a musical that either the rights aren't out yet, but you can, review a script easily, or, something that isn't done frequently.
Yeah. It's got to also be, like, with just enough level of silly that, like, all your friends can be like, okay, we're having a good time.
Right.
Cats.
Cats,
Honestly.
but instead of doing the musical, you just read the book. With all the poems.
Everyone gets a chapter, or, a couple pages.
Popcorn read.
Yeah.
I love that. Love that idea. Yeah, and you also don't want to pick a musical that is just completely depressing or like everyone, we're reading Next to Normal.
Yes, definitely.
Pick apart.
I also think if you're going to do a musical, my personal opinion is if you're going to do something just like wild with no plans, then you also shouldn't know it super well. So, like, if you're gonna do a musical, it has to be one that, like, no one knows, so that people don't know what the melody is supposed to sound like when you sing it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
It.
Yeah. Just jumping back into where we're at in the timeline of things. So we talked about Godspell. That was like post-pandemic.
Yes, it was.
Everybody's back. Theater's back. I think, honestly, you've done so many shows with us. Maybe we'll just rapid fire through some of these shows. I mean, so can you think of what your favorite show has been, maybe in the last couple of years, that you've been a part of in some form or fashion?
Outside of Heather's, because Heather's is the one I go to first usually. Mamma Mia was a favorite of mine, and that was one of the first ones that I took like full charge as a choreographer for, rather than being on stage. And there were a couple before that I did choreography and stuff for, but that was the one where I was like, okay, I got all these numbers, let's do this, let's do this whole show, big dance show, and that was a lot of fun. That one was good. And then there's also, just an itty bitty moment in that show where I had to pop on stage.
You made an appearance. Do you want to talk about that just briefly?
Before we get to that,
I
do want to say there was someone like brand new who was in the show. This guy who was one of the older people in the show, and he served in the military and everything, and he would talk about how intimidating you were. And I was like, really? But I remember talking to him at one point about this, and he said, but you have to understand, she pushes you because she knows you can do better. And I was like, yeah, I know. How long did it take you to figure that out? But I just love that he was like, whoa, who is this woman coming in hot, wanting me to do all these dance moves.
Get on board. Everyone dances in Mamma Mia. No one's exempt. No one's exempt.
Well, that's the thing, and this is what I love about the approach that we take usually is we ask for what we want in like basically a dream scenario. Right. And then if we need to tone it back, we tone it back. But like half the time when we do that, people are able to do it.
Right.
And then we're pleasantly surprised.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People will always rise to your expectations, and then if adjustments ever need to be made to make actors feel safe, comfortable, capable, those are easy things to adjust for. So
Yeah.
For sure. Do you want to talk about the fun times, that Sunday performance where you made a quick appearance? We'll give the rapid fire story.
Yeah.
This was my nightmare, and Joel was excited.
I was dealing with this firsthand because I was the person who was texting all night with the girl who went out. Saturday night show, our Sophie started to lose her voice. She was freaking out backstage. At intermission, we had to hold because we needed to calm her down and get her back on stage. And again, she did an amazing job, even with all that.
100%.
Once she just got her focus back, she was incredible. So all night and all the next morning, I was texting with her, trying to get her to the theater. Just being like, it's okay, you will be fine, you will be able to do this. Do your warm-ups, get your makeup on, come to the theater, you will be fine. And when we got there, we had the conversation, Miranda, her and I, of what needs to be done. And we decided first that I was going to go on for Sophie so that she could just do some ensemble pieces and still perform, but not worry about stressing her voice out. So we go into havoc mode. Pull a dress, pull some costumes. I brought a bunch of different of my pieces of my own clothes so that could work for the show. And we, halfway through getting me into costume pieces and things, one of the other girls is helping me run lines. And originally I was just going to go on with script in hand just to make it work. And she's helping me run lines and she knows them. And Miranda's like, do you know the lines? Can you do it? And so we switch again, and she goes on for Sophie, and I go on for one of the friends in the ensemble track, which worked out perfectly because I choreographed the show, so I knew all the dance moves. And then we just went. It was wild.
I have never in my life Miranda and I have had some wild phone calls over the years.
Yes.
Over the year, I mean, on a variety of different topics. But I remember my phone ringing that Sunday morning, and it was Miranda, and she said, "Where are you?" I said, "Oh, I'm stopping to pick up some." I think
Coffee?
I was getting well. I think I was also picking up ice as well for concessions or something like that. And I was like, "I'm picking up some ice, and I'll be at the theater." And she said, "I need you here now." Abbie's going on. And I said, "Abbie's going on where?" She said, "I need you to get to the theater." And as soon as I got there, I mean, I saw you running. I saw Miranda running. It was like a moving train. Of just,
Didn't stop. We
it
just
was
kept going.
happening. And, you made the comment of, Miranda, you made the comment of, this was your worst nightmare. And I was giddy about it. That was what live theater is. It just we knew that we had one of our largest audiences that we've ever had as a company coming to that theater within 2 hours.
Yep.
And they had paid money to see a show, and they were going to see a show, and it was going to be good quality. And, the excitement of it, I was like, oh my gosh, we have to put out signs letting everyone know that the cast has changed. It's a big, the excitement of that was very overwhelming, and I know you were feeling from, a business perspective, oh my gosh, I've got paying customers coming to see a show in a few minutes, and, is this going to work? And...
I mean, we'll get more into it, when we get to the Mamma Mia episode, too, but and we'll probably do a whole episode just on this day, probably, but... you and I obsessively check ticket numbers when we have access to it. So certain shows at venues, we do our own ticketing, and then there are other venues where they do the ticketing, and we don't have access to the system where we can see it live. But I remember this was the only day where I was like, stop going up. The number keeps going up. Stop going up. We were in the middle of trying to figure it out, and the ticket number just kept rising. And I was like, why Sunday? Everyone's coming. I can't believe I'm going to say this on the air, but I'll say it anyway. I could not stop going to the bathroom. I literally, my adrenaline
Yeah.
was so bad, and also every time I went in there, I was like, I need to be doing other things right now.
Yes.
But also, I can't poop my pants because that'll take longer. So we're just gonna have to dedicate some time to this.
No, because then that would have become the bigger story of the day. Is the problem? So.
It still didn't feel like the biggest issue of the day, but it's all right. Well, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No, but it went, and
happened.
you know what? Since then, understudies have been killer, man. We love an understudy.
Yes. Yes.
And it's hard with community theater because
It is.
like we're not in a position to pay our actors, and when you offer someone, you know, an understudy part, you almost always we try to do an understudy like with an ensemble track so they're guaranteed to go on. But it's tough because it's a lot of extra work, and 99% of the time you never get to go on in that role.
Yes.
But boy, when you need it, you need it.
Yep.
We learned that lesson very quickly.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Just
hey,
make
it
sure
was
there's
fun.
a bathroom in close proximity.
I remember specifically also from that night, it was during Voulez-Vous, and I felt so confident with all of those dances because, again, I taught them, I knew them. But spacing, however, was a different story, and there was a moment in Voulez-Vous, and it was like the very first Voulez-Vous moment where we're like reaching out to our partner, and I go to reach out this way and no one's there, and I turn around and they're on this side of me, and so I'm like swinging around to the other side to get to them.
I loved that number in particular because I also remember that's when Sophie has the moment with each dad, and there were different, basically like spots, like spotlights for each moment, and each dad, which two out of the three, like basically brand new to theater or hadn't done theater in a long time, but each dad grabbed our brand new Sophie and pulled her into the light. And I was like, we're doing the scene now, and then they would just pull her to the next one because what else do you do?
Yeah, it happened.
Shove with
What
love.
a time.
Exactly.
Shove with love.
I'd be amiss if I didn't talk about one of my favorite Abbie Weinel roles.
Oh, is it my moniker, my title, my crown?
Yes, it is. It is.
Say the name.
Abbie has given herself the title of let me make sure it's correct. Snowho.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the one.
Perfect. Okay. For one particular reason. So there is nothing on stage that you have ever expressed to us as a crazy idea, which is really, really great for us as directors because we're like, we need snow to fall from the ceiling, but we don't know what we're going to do about it.
I had a snow machine.
We did.
We tried.
We're talking about Rent in particular,
Yes.
just for the listeners at home.
It's beginning to snow.
and-
I said
and it's
a
beginning-
million times.
And yes, we had a snow machine. The snow machine was less than reliable. It was it noisy? What was there was a
There were a lot of problems.
The thing that I remember was specifically we had it up on that platform, so when the snow blew out of it, it was only hitting like a fourth of the stage.
That's right. Yes.
Which
doesn't
defeated the purpose of
And then,
Exactly.
and then when we positioned it so it would hit more of the stage, then the stage was slippery.
Yeah, right.
Because it's like, because the snow machine is like bubbles or something.
Yes.
It's like a white foamy thing. So
It was cool.
Yeah.
It just didn't, but I was able to return it.
Snope.
Saved the
Yeah.
business.
Yeah. Yeah. Save the business.
Save the farm.
Yeah. So we kind of went through multiple stages of the snow. We tried the Snope, the snowy soap concoction coming out of the snow machine. We tried just about anything. I mean, we talked about hanging snow from the ceiling that would
Doing like a shake bag.
Yeah, do like a shake bag kind of thing. And it just wasn't really sticking. So I believe, and I don't want to take credit for this if this was not me, but I remember deciding, it might have been you and I having this discussion.
I remember being pulled to the back of the theater because I did perform in Rent as well as choreograph it. So I remember being called to the back of the theater. Abbie, you're in trouble. And us trying to come up with some things. And if you remember differently, it could be, but I remember just going, can we just try it, and can I just have a bucket of snow?
That, yes, I think, I think it was a combination of a couple of different ideas at the end of the day, because we were already in the process of getting glitter, I think, for something else, and that's what we ended up deciding on. But yeah, I mean, you got a bucket of snow, and I remember the full situation. So yeah, so you came up with that, but then we'll set this up and then we'll go at the very end because we have a new theme now. But yes, you came up with the snow. You walked around the stage and essentially threw snow up in the air.
Just grabbed handfuls. I stood behind the actors who were singing and just threw snow up and then would walk off stage.
Yes. Yep. And it worked brilliantly. It was so funny and iconic, and it's one of my favorite. It turned that number into a show-stopping number. I mean, we always talk about these numbers that are like, sometimes they get lost in shows because they're just like, they're extra narrative that has to get us from point A to point B at the end of the day. And I feel like that turned that number into something more than what it usually is, and I loved that about it. The thing I will take credit for, at the very end of the number, if you've noticed in the last couple of years, STS has gotten to the point where we've been using confetti cannons more and more frequently.
Yeah, that's how you got your moniker.
Yes.
Which is Confetti Betty.
Yes.
Confetti Betty.
Yes. And it was my recommendation, and we'll talk about this more with rent because that's also how I got my keys locked in the car before the Sunday matinee.
I forgot about that.
Yes. So we decided to have a white confetti cannon that at the very end of that number, Abbie would go up onto the second level of the platform that was on stage, and you shot a large confetti cannon over the cast and into the audience. It would end up in like the second or third row of the audience.
There was one night where it didn't pop quite right, and so instead of like, it was just like a chunk of confetti that just went out and hit someone in the audience. They were not hurt,
that.
no
win
lawsuits,
but
Oh gosh, yeah, good times with those for sure. We're quickly reaching our time for our episode, but I did have a couple of questions.
Yes.
Actually, a question for you and a question for Miranda, and I'll answer that question as well. But or actually, it's a question for all of us. But my question for you is, if STS could do any musical, what would you want it to be?
Oh gosh, I had a play in mind, but I didn't have a musical in mind. See, we've already done a lot of the shows that I think would do really well here. Falsettos is the first one that comes to mind, but we're literally doing that right now, so.
In the midst of it,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, you know what? 9 to 5 would be really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Great musical.
God, I love 9 to 5.
Such a great musical.
So good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my other question that I had, and this is just because we've been doing this for so long, the three of us, do we all have a favorite memory that we all would like to share to kind of wrap us up?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. I don't know why my voice got soft here. Yeah,
It's ASMR.
Memory lane.
Oh, we've done some crazy crap together.
Mm-hmm. Now we sit in silence for the last 10 minutes.
That's okay. You might hear Daryl in the background.
I don't know. I feel like we talked about a lot of the ones that I think about.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's not a specific memory, but I really enjoyed when you would step in for Grease Lightning whenever someone was out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you would step in for that a lot.
Yeah. I can say mine, and this again is more of a general memory, but it encapsulates a lot of your experience, our experience working together. I like to say that I am a director. I can help people figure out where to move, but I cannot choreograph to save my life. And there have been so many shows where I'm like, I really want to do that show, but I cannot choreograph that show. I think back to like Bright Star and like some of those other shows where like a lot of the shows that I direct don't require extensive amounts of choreography, but like you've always been so willing to just like jump in, and like some of my favorite memories are just like, Abbie, this is what I want done in this number. Can you make it happen? And just somehow magically, I just always know that if I just say this is my vision, it just happens. And
I do speak Joel.
Yeah. We make that comment a lot. Yeah. Yes, you do speak Joel very well. Miranda, you speak Joel. Savannah, you speak Joel. It's a very specific language.
Yeah.
But it's a talent.
It is a talent. It is.
We've gotten pretty good at it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I don't know if it's like a memory per se, but like having worked together now for such a long time, I think that I have a really good understanding of physical pictures and how to get something to look the way it should. And I feel like that is what I am able to like help with and bring to the table the most. And so it has become sort of a thing of like, Abbie, how do we get this here? Or how do we find this thing? Or how do we do this? And we can just come in and brainstorm together and go, oh, well, we can do this to get this like picture that you're looking for because that's the thing that's missing. Or like we're missing something here. Like what can we do to make this feel more powerful, more intimidating, more whatever? And we'll come up with something that puzzle pieces those together.
Yeah. Very true. I have another memory that I thought of. Well, but also with your choreography comment, Joel tells me all the time, he'll be like, that was an Abbie Weinel special. Because I'll step into his shows like Bright Star or Pippin or, well, not Pippin, but Bright Star, randomly watch something and be like, oh, that was really solid. And that's what we call an Abbie Weinel special. But I think one of my favorite memories with you, Abbie, was after Avenue Q. I didn't know you were coming to that performance, and I was just like in the trenches, and like when I saw you, I was like, this is what I needed in this moment right now. Yeah, I get a little emotional, but I was just like, oh my God, my savior. Yeah, and then we hugged, and then your earring got caught in my hair.
That did happen, yes.
Yeah,
that was, yes.
Yeah, but it was just like you just showed up exactly when I needed you, and it was just one of those perfect moments.
Yeah. Not to make my ego any bigger, but I do remember at one point, Miranda, you told me that you told your therapist about me.
Yes.
And so she said, what would Abbie do?
Yeah, so my therapist at one point, well, this is my previous therapist. I really liked her. She left the practice. It's not a whole like, oh, I left my therapist because she was saying this type of stuff. But she said, like, we were working on like being confident in the decisions I make, because I a lot of times will like, I have trouble with making decisions because in the nature of like the field we're in, every time or a lot of times I make a decision, it upsets someone, like no matter what way I decide things need to go. And so we were working on my confidence with that, and she was like, I want you to like picture the most like confident person you can think of. And I was like, oh, it's this girl named Abbie. And then she was like, okay, so we're gonna like make Abbie your like alter ego, who you're aspiring to be. When you get in these moments, just think, what would Abbie do? So yes, that is true, and I still think sometimes, what would Abbie do, and try to go with that.
All this to say, Joel and Miranda are like my biggest supporters and have always like lifted me up in everything too, and I'm super grateful for all of that too. Very much so.
I've definitely I've seen you be vulnerable as well. I don't want to make you out to be like this, like, I'm crazy confident all the time and always know the right thing. But it is jarring, like whenever I've seen you, get emotional before, and I'm like, she can do that. She can hurt like the rest of us. Yeah. It's not possible.
I know even after you make that comment, I hope you know how often we sing your praises. I mean, I think back to like just a couple weeks ago with Into the Woods, but something just naturally came out of my mouth, and it's so funny when I think about it now, because it's the truth, and I know we both have said this to people before, maybe not in this exact wording, but I definitely used the expression to someone on our team, and I said, you were the Abbie Weinel of tech. And that person is incredible, and I know that they would take that as, and I know they're a listener as well, but I know that they took that as the highest form of flattery, so I just hope that you understand how much we appreciate
when you're not here,
you.
you're a legend.
Yes.
You're a legend when you're here too, but yeah, we still talk about you. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. No, you could truly, SDS has been a part of my life for almost 10 years now, as it has yours, and it has been such a big, important part of my life in growing me as an actor, building more confidence as a person, finding like friends in the community. And I struggle all the time with like having friends close by because I travel so much for work that I'm like, I'm home, I get to hang out with my SDS friends.
Yeah.
Because I just get to be around you guys. Like this summer has been great because I'm just here and I get to see you guys.
Yeah. Well, we've been loving it too. Because it's definitely been too
listening
long.
to this podcast is just listening to my friends hang out, and I love it.
Do you ever chime in when you're listening?
Yes. Yes.
You're like, I remember that.
I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
Well, Abbie, it's always great working with you, and it's even better being your friend.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
We're honored
Same goes
to
for
have
me
you.
double.
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll have you back for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And
We have a lot to talk about.
until then, Legally Blonde, oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Stay snarky.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye. And that's a wrap. Thanks for getting snarky with us. We'll see you later.
See you next time.